releases this week. I'll probably stream a little bit in the afternoons. About an hour till the surgical memes. That is true. About an hour till the surgical memes. All right, I would love to play first. Hour and a half or 20 if Knuckleblade swings for lethal. Snap in. Seems great. He just like needs another land. We get to Serum Visions on one. Doesn't Sakura-Tribe Elder look fantastic in this hand? Just like no joke, right? Just like looks like that's what I want to do on the second turn of the game. I want to cast the Sakura-Tribe Elder. We hit a land. We hit an Electrolyze. Do I want another land? Probably not. Actually, I probably do. I'm gonna go top here. I definitely want the Electrolyze, I think. The donation memes are in the donation queue. Oh no. Oh no, chat. Oh no, Ponza. We're gonna get Ponza, chat. Oh, this is sweet. We can Spreading Seas to kill their Utopia Sprawl, which is excellent. That's unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna fetch a basic island here. And we're gonna spread them off this forest. I think I just want to spread them off the forest, right? This is what happens when you backtalk pods. Replace your Utopia Sprawl. Go. I mean, to be fair, the deck that we're playing is the style of deck that Ponza is designed to prey on, right? Like, Ponza is designed to prey on fair, interactive mid-range decks. It's difficult matchups with the more linear decks in the format. Yep, that's unfortunate. Blue source. Oh, geez. So now we're getting punished for having not played the mountain out last turn, but I guess they could have Stone Rained me off the mountain too. So this is unfortunate that we can't cast any of our spells here. Can you explain why falls comes off from a rules perspective? So auras on cards constantly check whenever state-based actions are checked. Hey, is this still a legal target for my thing? And so when this goes from being a forest to an island, Utopia Sprawl goes, oh, this is no longer a legal target for my thing.
You're screaming and the boys are in bed.
Okay.
And I'm leaving you.
Where are you going?
I'm leaving you.
You're leaving me.
I'm moving out.
You're moving out.
Yeah. I'm going to get a snack.
You're going. What kind of snack are you gonna get?
French fries.
French fries.
Yeah.
Where are you
that's
getting?
all I can think about.
Where are you getting French fries from? Popeyes.
Do you want something from
No,
anywhere?
no, I'm
Anywhere
good.
in the whole wide town?
Yeah, I love you.
I'll get you anything in the whole wide town.
No, I'm okay.
I just
All
really
right.
need a snack.
So they have infinite mana now. I think we're just supposed to slam this Bloodbraid, right? And like try and kill this and smack into the Garrick.
Do you even realize you're standing on my foot?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep you from leaving me.
French fries make it a poutine. This is America. We don't have poutine here.
Hey, thank you for the cupcake bits, Jace. Bring me meathead fries.
Do you want them, Maddie? I'll bring them to you.
Alright, this is a free attack. If they want to trade here, we're fine with that. Hopefully they can't play anything too big and scary next turn. They're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Maybe I was supposed to just Electrolyze to guarantee to cut them off of mana, but like, they're probably going to have 6 this turn regardless, so...
Canada is technically also America. Are you sure you don't want anything in the whole wide town?
Magic's fun. Nah, I'm okay.
You're a liar. I'm actually not... Like, Meatheads is, like, top 5, but, like, not top 4.
All right, if we draw blue swords, we'll be in an okay spot here. You get to take them off these elves.
I'm funny.
All right, that's pretty good. I think I want to just smack this into here. Portillo's is excellent.
I'm not going all the way to Portillo's.
We've did you hear that? I'll get you anything in the whole wide town. I'm not getting you anything from Portillo's.
I said I'm not going all the way to Portillo's.
I'm pretty sure that's like a breach of contract, right, chat? Can I get a vote? Is that like, you heard her say anywhere in the town, right? And Portillo's is technically in the town.
It's technically in
It's
the
technically
other
in Normal.
town.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I wasn't gonna say the name of the town. Now they know where we live. What do you want from Portillo's?
No, I don't want anything. I'm good.
Okay. Don't be sad when I come back and I have
Hey,
deliciousness and you don't.
Get me ice cream from somewhere.
Does ice cream exist in a drive-thru? I'm not exactly
Does
dressed
ice
to
cream
impress.
exist in a drive-thru? What are we supposed to do here? What are we, chat? Can we focus on the thing? What's the line? Am I supposed to attack this into here? They might just chump block with the Arbor Elf.
Ice cream.
You're not wrong. So maybe we're just supposed to kill these and smack here because they clearly don't have a land because they haven't played them for the last couple turns, right? Yeah, I think we're supposed to get basic islands here just to like play through a Blood Moon. No, I can't Knuckleblade plus haste because I don't have 2 red sources. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to Electrolyze the Arbor Elves and then attack them. Just so, like, they can't chump block. Or if they want to chump block, they have to chump block with Tireless Tracker. We've gotten pretty fortunate here. We've just, like, continued to draw lands when we need to draw lands. Okay, so they can still make mana with Garrick here, but they can't make a 3/3 without losing it, which is good for us. Fetch land is an exceedingly good draw for them. It's going to allow them to make 2 clues with this tracker. Next turn, I can play Knuckleblade plus give it haste, which is nice for us. This is our last basic island in our deck, though, so if they destroy this island, we're not going to have blue mana through a Blood Moon. What a sweet match of cube. Ain't that the truth? Alright, so they're just cashing that in here. That's probably smart on their part. Tarmogoyf's a big boy. Do I want to just attack with this Knuckleblade? I think if I'm trading Knuckleblade for their Tireless Tracker, I'm okay with that, right? I'm super okay with this. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to play Basic Forest, and I'm going to go Goyf Knuckleblade pass. Go. You're watching our literal first match with the deck, so I don't really have an educated or informed opinion on it. Corsair's pretty good, especially with this Tireless Tracker. Okay, there's an Acid Moss. Hopefully we can pressure them out of this game. Hopefully they miss a land drop here. They have a land drop. That sucks. I guess they can't make the tracker a 6 whatever this turn, so it's not going to be able to block the Knuckleblade profitably. Resilient, land D, hype. Thanks for the bit sec. Well, I mean, Ponza just won the Open, right? And if Ponza won the Open, that means it's the best deck in the format. So, ergo facto, if we beat Ponza, we are the best deck in the format. That's how Magic works, right? I think I'm just supposed to smack with everything here, right? Before I do anything. Just could. Yeah! Does this count as Knuckleblade attacking for Lethal Brecken Sky or not quite? If you beat this, it means you've broken Modern. So, fun fact: this card counters a Stone Rain, so we're gonna board it in. Roast is fine. We're gonna board out our Blood Moons. That's how evolution works. I think I like most of the rest of our cards here. I think the Spreading Seas are good just for killing their Utopia Sprawls. Oh, actually, Back to Nature is kind of funny, right? It kills Courser and it kills their Sprawls and their Blood Moons, because sometimes Blood Moon's going to be annoying for us, right? I think I'm going to board in Back to Nature. It actually seems reasonable. Who do I want to cut? Is Jace bad? No, Jace is probably good. They're kind of a mid-rangey deck, right? We won a game. Already doing better than the other one. Already doing better than the previous deck. Yeah, do we want Ratchet Bomb? I think Ratchet Bomb's a little narrow, right? Yeah, our Spreading Seas replace themselves, though, Tom. So, cut a tracker, you're psychotic. Tireless Tracker is much better than Jace. Yeah, maintaining blue-blue could be difficult. I don't know. I think the games are going to go long a lot of the time. The opponent's deck generally doesn't have a fantastic clock. So I think the Ancestral Visions are reasonable. I need to cut one card. I could go down to one Jace. That's probably fine. I think going down to one Jace is probably fine. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, Seas can also fix our mana too. We can Spreading Seas our non-basics under a Blood Moon to turn them into islands. Anger's okay. Like, it doesn't kill a lot of cards that we care about is the problem. Yeah, I keep this. I've got a Bolt on one. I've got Ancestral Visions. They mulliganed. It's a little bit medium because, well, they can't turn 2 Stone Rain us, right? Because we can bolt their thing on one. Yeah, so I'm just going to fetch Steam Vents and bolt this, I think. Just, like, try and keep them off of doing their silly things. They mulliganed and scryed bottom, so there's a good chance we can get them. It's a little bit sad that our Visions won't unsuspend till a turn later, but I think it's worth it to slow down their acceleration here, especially after they mulliganed. We're really lucky we'll hit a blue source this turn. The real question is, if they Utopia Sprawl, do I delay myself again to Spreading Seas them off the Sprawl? Maybe I do, actually. Yeah, maybe I'm just using my Spreading Seas to cut them off this next turn. Yeah, it chose red. Yeah, I think I just spread them. Like, they might, especially because, like, they mulliganed and we've already attacked their mana, so... Yeah, maybe the Visions weren't good on the draw. Maybe on the draw they should have been something else. We could get Stone Rain this turn, so... That's a good draw in the face of potential Stone Rain. Yeah, Tibalt sounds great. Fun fact. I registered Tibalt in a Legacy Open one time. I'm not saying I'm proud of what I did, I'm just saying I did it. Just so we understand where my process is at here. Just so we understand what's going on. Definitely registered Tibalt at a Legacy Open one time. So we have to Bloodbraid Elf next turn. See, the Sakura-Tribe Elders were just the next level tech against the Ponza deck, chat. They were just next level Ponza tech. Nah, wasn't a Life from the Loam deck? Wasn't a Life from the Loam deck. Look at this. Steve gave us a basic and he gained us 3 health. Steve's our boy. Ain't nobody got our back like Steve-O does. Get me in his land. His land is your land. His land is my land. Do 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 do. Beep 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 beep. Am I just supposed to roast this tracker? I think we're just supposed to Visions and then roast the tracker. These are pretty good. These are pretty good. So I'm gonna go top here. So we will draw the roast next turn, and then we can Bloodbraid Cascade into the Tarmogoyf. Seems good for us. That's unfortunate. Means we're gonna have to crack our fetch land here, which kind of sucks. I think I just want to crack my fetch now so I don't have to fetch shock. I'm just going to go get Steam Vents here. I think we have a second Steam Vents. Yeah. I'll go ahead and play Bloodbraid Elf here. All right, Blade, have a timeout. If you wanna tell me I made a play that's wrong, you have to say I would have gone top bottom because like your post was so short, you didn't even bother to tell me which card you would have put on top and which card you would have put on the bottom. So, I kind of just want to cut them off red mana here, right? Like they play some double red cards. Hey, the Spell Weaver with the 3-month Twitch Prime resubscription. Thanks a lot. Thanks for sending your Amazon fun money this way again this month. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I probably want to keep this fetch on top if I have a Tireless Tracker, right? I probably want both of these. I think it's just like top. Just like go Tracker into Island and then we draw the fetch land. I'm like kind of sad if they have removal for the Tracker and I kept the fetch land on top though. I guess I'm probably... we did win game 1. I guess I probably am going to find lands for the Tracker anyways. So yeah, I'm actually just going to go bottom here because this way the downside if they have removal for the Tracker is better for us. I think I want to keep the Tracker and then do that. Yeah, because like next turn I have a 6 land, so I can go Tracker, Island, Knuckleblade, snapping this trade off here. We are definitely on the defense right now. How many turns does this have? Oh, it's coming off soon. That's great. All right, so... Oh, let's tap my lands right here. So this is going to let me cast the Knuckleblade this turn. I mean, why does he need to be hasty? I'm just going to play him this turn. I think I might actually just trade this Knuckleblade for the Obstinate Baloth if they offer it. Because I have Ancestral Vision coming off next turn. Like, plus I have this Tireless Tracker. So, like, if I'm just able to, like, stem the bleeding, it's going to be ideal. The Pyromancer deck was very bad. If they have a dragon here, we're in a lot of trouble. Looks like a dragon. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. So need like double bolt now, plus a red source. It's pretty unlikely. Only played 1 bolt though, so maybe. I guess Jace is also okay. It's like a 4 mana unsummon. Wish this Back to Nature was a card that did something. 5, 6. So red, blue, green. I can cast this. I can give this haste. And we're just going to be dead to a land next turn. Yeah, we're just dead to a land. Still get to monster this, which its monster trigger will deal 2 to us. So untapped land explicitly kills us here. Kitchen Finks. Okay, that's probably as good as dead. Jace is a live draw still here. All right, that's 1 bolt. Do I have another basic forest in my deck? Okay, so this is interesting. I think I'm dead regardless here. Like, I need to hit the bolt now. So I'm going to go ahead and thin my deck, even though this means we're just dead next turn. I think we have to kill this turn. So I think it's worth getting these clues out and just, like, drawing to my other bolts as quickly as possible. It's like having the highest probability to hit another bolt here. Casting Bloodbraid makes it less likely for us to hit another bolt. I guess how much am I attacking for here? They block here and they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Did I have Scries to the bottom? I don't actually know. I'm unsure. If I Yes, they block here because this is the most damage. This would turn into a 4 power when the bolt hits the graveyard. So this would be 8, 11, 14. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to crack clues. Yeah, we were talking about before I shuffled. Was I supposed to shuffle? Roast doesn't hit creatures with flying. For those that are unfamiliar with Roast. Is not just a more expensive Flame Slash. It's unfortunate. Really close game there. Well, so the Bloodbraid Elf costs 4 mana, so we'd only get the 1 cascade off of Bloodbraid Elf, whereas if we had the clues, we get to crack 2 clues. So we get to draw 2 cards with clues, as opposed to cascading into a single spell with Bloodbraid Elf. So we're less likely to find what we're looking for with the Bloodbraid Elf, I believe. Heroic Intervention is probably bad. Are these Finks good just for racing? These Finks might be good just for racing, honestly. Maybe that's something I'm interested in. Well, if we cascade into Ancestral Visions or Recall, we don't have enough red mana to cast the lightning bolts we could draw into. So we're not seeing more outs with that line. So we only had 2 red sources, and we need 2 red to be able to cast 2 lightning bolts. So if we cascaded into card draw, that wasn't going to be good enough. I think Electrolyze is fine. It's reach and it disrupts their mana creatures. This has plenty of lands and it just gets to go Goyf into Knuckleblade, so I think that's fine. I'd have to actually do the math. My gut says that clues are more likely to get us there, but I actually obviously haven't done the math to know that for sure. This is fine. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this. I think we just want pressure on the play. Roast doesn't hit creatures with flying, chat. Roast doesn't hit creatures with flying. I'm going to grab a Steam Vents here, and then we'll fetch a basic Forest next turn to cast this Tarmogoyf. Alright, fair warning. Anyone else that tells me the math is wrong without showing your work, I'm giving you a permanent ban in chat. That includes subs. Now, subs you'll get timed out. Non-subs you'll get a permanent ban. So, if you want, I don't know what the correct probability is there because I haven't done the math. My gut says cracking the clues gave us a better chance, but I don't actually know that for sure. I don't know it for sure. It's a good pickup. Gonna make some clues for us. Trinisphere is interesting. 2 + 2 = fish. Roasted. Alright, makes our Goyf bigger. It's unfortunate that this Trinisphere is out, because it means we can't do anything against this bird with this this lightning bolt. Yeah, Trinisphere is good against BB. 10 out of 10. We'd be in an amazing spot this Trinisphere is now, because we can just take their bird off the table. I think I'm just supposed to fetch another green source here, right? Probably another blue source? Yeah, I'm gonna fetch another blue source, actually. Just to, like, play through. I guess this gives them the ability to stone raid us off for only red source. Maybe I'm just supposed to fetch a duel there, assuming that since they fetched another duel, that they boarded out their Bloodboods, because Bloodbood's not stellar against us. Yeah, I think this was a... Okay, they're killing my green. Sure, because I only have 1 green in play. So I think I should have fetched a duel there, actually, but looks like we're not getting punished for my mistake. Alright, so I'm going to shock this in. And I think I'm just, like, cracking these clues and attacking them here. Just going to, like, get this out of bolt range. So Bloodbraid is very bad against Trinisphere here, obviously. Yeah, I just want to, like, kill my opponent as quickly as possible here, I think. Just, like, draw some cards, get some extra damage in. Do we have artifact removal? Not in my deck right now, I don't think. We do not have any in my deck right now. Wait. They play Bloodbraid. Which... Fucking Magic Online, man. Just like... has Bloodbraid in their deck still. Oh, Magic Online so competitive. Welcome everyone. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a TCG player and content producer. I stream Magic full-time on this channel. I'm here 30 to 40 hours a week. If you're enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch. My subscribers are the reason I'm able to do what I do as often as I do it. Big shout out to all of y'all. Y'all are great. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff. Gorbatron75 with the 2-month free subscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including CCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags there. And finally, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anoronic sends you. Anoronic likes to remind you to at the very least hit that follow button. It lets you know when I go live and with what. So I do mornings, afternoon, evenings, lots of different times here. So you can always find out what I'm streaming and when by following the stream there. So thanks for hanging out, folks. We're heading into match number 2 with this Temur Savage Knuckleblade deck. We just knucked up Panza. So we are 1-0 to start this league, hoping to finish strong. These Temur decks have been a lot of fun. I don't know if they're better or worse than Jund, but I've been enjoying playing them, so that's definitely something. God bless the card choice command. So for those that are new to the stream, this is a donation deck list. So one of my subscribers sent me some dollary dues along with their MTG deck, and they're like, "Hey, this is a Temur deck I've been playing. Will you try it out on stream?" And then it goes into the donation queue, and here we are playing it here tonight. Already, that's true. That's true. Already exceeding expectations. Unfortunately, I don't have any idea on that, Dazer. They are, all of the payment type stuff is handled on Twitch's end. Magic the Gathering sometimes. Hey. Hopefully they're a mid-range deck, and we are going to get to make up some of this card disadvantage from mulliganing with these Ancestral Visions. No, I don't think we'd keep that hand with a bird. I don't think that hand's keepable with a bird. Just beat the best deck in the format, so obviously broken, right? Ooh, Steam Vent Swift Spear. You have my attention, opponent. I am very interested in what is going on over there. Very, very interested. So now the question is, do I play Stevo Bandito, or do I suspend another Vision on 2? I think I'm supposed to play the Sakura-Tribe Elder. Opponent's deck is looking a little bit aggressive, so I kind of want to develop my mana as quickly as possible in order to kind of get set up to beat back their aggressive start here. I'm just going to fetch a basic forest here. Put this into play. Just heard my wife come home. I wonder if she really didn't get me any ice cream. Is she fat shaming me and not getting me ice cream? I'm large. I wish to be full of chocolate. They conceded game 2 when they curved Trinisphere into Bloodbraid Elf. Magic's a tough game sometimes. I think we're getting a basic mountain with this, Steve. I too am large and wish to be full of chocolate, right? Yes, definitely. Look, I am a happily married man. I have what can only be described as dad bod. I am fat and not ashamed of it. Happily fat. Hey, finally, love the modern content. Greetings from Portugal. Thanks for the support, Dazer. I appreciate that. Welcome. I've seen you around in chat before. Probably Remans and Spellsnars and Mana Leaks hiding over there, which makes this Tarmogoyf kind of scary to play out, but like, I can't not play a spell this turn, right? No, I do not accept Bitcoin. I only accept dollars that my bank takes, unfortunately. If ice cream is 20% air, does that mean it's 80% ice cream? Asking the hard-hitting questions. Dad fat seems loose. It's more jiggly than loose, really, if we're being specific. We jiggle more than anything. Ethereum, Ripper, Zimboine. Look, it's the wife's fault that I'm fat. Before Christy and I started dating, I was the same height I am now at 175 pounds. And then she started feeding me, and I ballooned up. We're looking pretty dead here, chat. On a scale of 1 to dead, we're looking pretty DED. Can we just talk for a moment about Jace the Mind Sculptor and how unfair he was this match? Can we talk about how unfair this Jace the Mind Sculptor was and how he needs to be banned? How he's no good for the format? Alright, so what are we doing here? Kitchen Finks sounds great against their aggressive deck. We're gonna board out Blood Moons, board out Spreading Seas. I probably actually don't have enough cards to bring in here to justify cutting all the Jaces. I'll tell her what you said. No one clip that. So like my options for last few cards here are Jace, Ratchet Bomb, Anger. I think Anger's marginally better. They're probably like a Delver deck, right? They're probably a Delver deck of sorts. Like boarding in Anger and Finks together doesn't feel good. Yeah, they could be a Pyromancer deck too. I'm gonna bring in 2 Angers and leave 1 Jace. If we see Pyromancer, I'll bring in the 3rd Anger. I'm just gonna board in 2 Angers for now. Opponent's playing a bit of a brew like we are, so I'm not 100% on what cards they're going to have access to. We have our combo in our opening hand here. I'm gonna keep this. Our starting lands are a little bit awkward here. I'm actually just gonna lead on Fetch Go because both of these need to fetch green sources so I can cast this Kitchen Finks. There's a Delver, yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and fetch Breeding Pool here, so that way I can Serum Visions next turn. Probably gonna fetch like Stomping Grounds tapped and cast Serum Visions. Okay, that's sweet. So this, I guess it's still just Stomping Grounds tapped, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna fetch Stomping Grounds tapped. Yeah, I'm hoping that the fact that like we unbanned these powerful cards and the boat like wasn't really rocked, that's really unfortunate for us. So we drew another land, but I fetched a non-red source to start, so like I don't have another red for this Anger of the Gods yet, but we're also flooding a little bit, so like my hand needs to draw lands, but we also want to draw spells, so we're kind of in an awkward spot. Hopefully they cast their Delver here, that would be ideal. Stop it, Shadowless. This Lies is gonna be delicious. It's gonna be real tasty, chat. All right, so they are confirmed on Pyromancer Delver, so we're going to bring in the 3rd Anger for the 3rd game. I think most of the clunky sorcery speed fair cards are cards that are pretty safe on bans. I think Green Sun Zenith, Stoneforge Mystic, and then even clunky cards that support combos like Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod are probably fine unbans. Hey, Johnny I, with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. As always, subs are the best way you can support what I have going on here. I think there are cards that very obviously should remain on the ban list. I think, you know, the Skull Clamps and the Glimpse of Natures and the Rite of Flames, the Chrome Moxes, the super degenerate things. Modern doesn't need more degenerate things, but unbanning cards that allow more fair mid-range decks to play them, or even just mid-range combo decks. I think if Modern was more mid-rangey, it would be a better format. I think decks that push people towards playing cards that make games longer is ideally what you want in your format. Yeah, Jitty, Punishing Fire, Skull Clamp, those cards shouldn't be legal. Those cards are really, truly obnoxious, and they can stay out of the format. Please and thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna roast this. Cast Kitchen Finks, just be super resource efficient here. The downside to playing the roast here is if my opponent has a spell snare, but like they didn't spell snare my Goyf, so I'm hoping they don't have it here. Unless they drew. I feel like if they had a spell snare, they would have spell snared my Goyf, yeah. Okay, so what people need to realize is that, and this is the big thing that people didn't realize about Jace and Bloodbraid Elf and why Jace and Bloodbraid Elf are fine in Modern, is that so many people seem to evaluate the power level of magic cards in an absolute sense, and that's not how you evaluate magic cards or cards in TCGs in general. You evaluate the power level of cards in a TCG contextually in the format they're being played in. So yes, cards like Bloodbraid Elf and Jace were overpowered and too strong in previous formats. Those formats had different power levels than the current Modern format does. Current Modern format is a high power level format, which is why reintroducing cards like Bloodbraid and Jace didn't take the format and throw it on its head. I don't even think you need to ban Batterskull. Like, I always find it funny when people tell me like Green Sun Zenith is too strong, but then they'll tell you that Storm killing people on turn 3 is fine and turn 3 Karn is fine. Just like, well, those things are contextually in the format. If those things are fine, these other things like Green Sun Zenith are probably much worse than these powerful things that are legal. So if these more powerful things are fine, can I like get my weaker things back? I mean, that's not strictly true, Dazer. When Grixis Twin was a deck, people still played Grixis Control. People still played Jeskai Control. There were still... Twin was the best variation. And yes, we have a bunch of really bad blue-red variants right now, but people would still play Control decks without Twin in them. Hey, Omaha17, with that brand new Twitch Prime support, thank you very much and welcome. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support what I do here, so thanks for sending your Amazon fund money this way again this month. I would not unban any of the cards that enable more hyper-degenerate things. Golgari Drave Troll can stay gone, Hypergenesis can stay gone. Like, these are cards that I don't think need to come back. Oh, they were dead. I'm talking and reading chat. They're at 6, whatever. It's probably fine. It's shh. Everybody in chat, calm down. Calm down. We just... I'm giving them a chance, okay? I'm giving them a chance. Shut up. Shut up. Shh, quiet chat. Quiet chat. Nobody move. If things start to go south, we'll lethal them in response. Think about Pod with Delve Threats. I think that sounds sweet. I think that sounds like sweet decks. I think Pod with Delve Threats sounds really sweet. At this point, I was intentionally not bolting them just in case they had a Dispel. So I'm going to bring in this last Anger of the Gods. I'm going to cut this Jace with the Mind Sculptor like we keep doing. So I want a Ratchet Bomb. I probably don't mind a Ratchet Bomb at this point, right? Just because like they have tokens and stuff. I got 1 AV. Yeah, that seems fine. This is why Twins banned Jeff talking. Twins winning people games and it's not even legal. Oh no. No, Mental Misstep is silly. Sensei's Divining Top should stay banned in Modern for the same reason it's banned in Legacy. It creates awful games of Magic that are long and tedious because Magic players are slow. I don't think Counterspell is too powerful for Modern right now. I've never heard anyone argue that. What I would argue is that Counterspell doesn't fix any of the problems the control decks currently have in Modern. Like, the decks that control decks are really bad against, Mana Leak is effectively Counterspell. So you want to introduce Counterspell to the format for the sake of not fixing problems. So, like, why does it need to be introduced to the format? All right, so this hand's a little ambitious, but... Ding, 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 we have a winner. And because I drew that like a professional, I get to suspend this vision on one. Tasty, tasty. I really don't think we need Force of Will. I don't think Force of Will is like what I don't think I want either of those cards in this format. I'm missing lands, that's good for us. Sweet. If we draw a red source naturally, I was going to play Tarmogoyf, but since we didn't, I'll cast Serum Visions, digging for a red source here. Perfect. Do I want this? I probably don't. I'm going to keep this Bolt, though. So we'll go this on top, pass the turn. Hopefully we don't get Spell Pierce next turn when we cast Anger. Magic players aren't slow, they're deliberate. Yep. Yep. Magic needs more slow play warnings. Magic needs more slow play warnings. Magic players at home see Magic professionals and other players playing slowly on their TV, and they go, well, these people play slowly, so I should slow down my rate of play. And it's just like, ugh. All right, so we're going to 13 here. We're going to 12 off of this. If we don't get Disrupting Shoaled, we should be in a very good spot this game. So trying to dodge the shoal here. Well, F and M's different. F and M is casual REL. When I'm talking about things in the context of Magic, like slow play warning and stuff like that, I'm talking about in the context of a competitive REL tournament. I'm not talking about... F&Ms are different RELs for a reason. F&M is where players are supposed to be able to go to learn the basics of Magic the Gathering, to learn to play faster. I'm talking about Grand Prix and Opens, competitive and professional REL. Yeah, I think chess clocks would be fine in Magic. Whenever someone makes a chess clocks wouldn't be fine in Magic argument for me, my favorite one is when they talk about we couldn't expect people to bring $10 chess clocks to a Magic tournament, and I'm like, how much did you pay for your Magic deck? And you think expecting people to bring a $10 chess clock to the Magic tournament is unreasonable? If you have a $1,000 deck of cards, but I can't expect you to bring a chess clock to the tournament? What are we doing here? RELs, yep, like in chat, rules enforcement level. Yep, exactly. That's why there are possible arguments you could make for why chess clock shouldn't be used in paper Magic, but the price is never a valid one. There are potential arguments you could make to be anti-chess clock for paper Magic events, but I will never accept that price is a valid one. That is not one I am willing to discuss even a little bit. There are details that would need to be able to work out, for sure. I'm just saying that price is not a valid defense. Who's ready to knuck our opponent up here, chat? Big Nux is about to get into the red zone. Are we ready? We gonna ogre him? Ogres! Okay, so for people in chat that do play competitive and professional REL tournaments, here's my best piece of advice for getting your opponent to play faster. If you genuinely think your opponent is slow playing, you should call a judge. If you want your opponent to play faster, you should say in front of them, you should... Oh, maybe I should have killed the Delver here. Because if this flips and they have 2 bolts, we're dead. That's awkward. We're gonna die, aren't we? I was so excited to use my monkey that we're gonna die. If you want your opponent to actually start playing the game faster, you should let your opponent hear you say, Judge, can you watch the match for slow play? If you want your opponent to get slow play warnings, you should say, I have to ask a judge a question away from the table, and then don't let your opponent hear you ask to watch for slow play. So if you want the match to actually play faster, ask in front of your opponent to the judge, watch this match for slow play, because everybody starts playing faster as soon as they hear the word slow play. Just actual everyone. This is a no justice stream, chat. Did you think anything else was going to happen there? Did you think anything else was going to happen here? Justice free stream. We are 2-0 with Savage Knuckleblade. Big Nux carrying us to victory here. Big Nux carrying us to victory. Just play Burn. I had 20 minutes left. And that's true too. One of the things that I find interesting is that players tend to gravitate towards decks that match their play speed, when in reality, you need to do the inverse. If you are a very fast Magic player, then you can play a control deck that wins slowly. If you're a very slow Magic player and every small decision is going to take you time, you should play a deck like Burn or an aggressive deck where the deck is going to win matches quickly in shorter time frames. The deck you pick should complement the speed at which you are able to play Magic the Gathering. Can we support knucking up all these people? Turn 1 AV, turn 2 Steve, turn 3 Bloodbraid Elf. Who's excited, chat? This is what we're doing. This is just like we drew it up. I remember when I top 8 at a standard open in Orlando, I was playing. Hey, there's a $20 donation from Brecken Sky. Knuckleblade got there. All hail Buck the new Goyf. Buck memes incoming. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. What was I gonna say? Oh, they're playing Dredge. I think it's probably okay against Dredge. We just like throw some fatties down here. Start to race them. We have 3 Angers on our board too. The babysitter's working out. Unfortunately, the babysitter is on spring break this week, so my schedule is going to be a little bit all over. Maybe Goyf can get here for us. Maybe Goyf can get here. This is a pretty good start. You start. Oh, so I'm playing a match. And it's just a naturally long match. I'm playing a low win condition control deck. My opponent's playing a mid-range deck, and I win game 2, putting us to 1-1 with like 9 minutes on the clock. My opponent mulligans to 5 in the 3rd game. And in between mulliganing to 6 and 5, they start pile counting their deck for the first time in the match. And I just snap called a judge. Just like, this is not okay. Things that are not okay. The first time you're pile shuffling is while there's 7 minutes left and you're mulliganing here. Like, these things are not okay. Hey, BanditWay232 with the brand new tier 1 subscription. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. As always, subs are the best way you could support what I do here. Also, fun fact, this is apparently something that most judges don't know, or not every judge. Judges should know this, but this is something you should know as a player too. If a slow play warning is issued during your match, when you get to extra turns, you get 7 turns. Which I didn't know because my opponent was issued a slow play warning. I would have killed my opponent on turn 6 of extra turns. And apparently, we were supposed to get 2 extra turns. And nobody told me that. And I had never had it come up before because I play quickly, and most of the times I play decks more on the aggressive side, so like I'm less likely to be drawing. So I was a little tilted. So again, you should know the rules for the tournaments. The judge should tell you that, correct? That the judge that was there made a mistake. And judges are human, judges are going to make mistakes just like players do. But if you're familiar with the rules, there's less of a chance that a judge can make a mistake if you're familiar with what's going on. That's pretty unlucky. Opponent didn't dredge into any lands here. If they attack with everything here, okay, so these I'm just gonna block both of these. This is fine. If they attacked with the prized amalgam too, I was going to block the amalgam but not the blood gas. What happened in the story? My opponent received a slow play warning because they were obviously trying to play slowly by pile shuffling, and then we drew when I would have had lethal on turn 6. So, you know, tilt. So they're down to 15 here. These Goyfs are 4/5s. These Bloodbraid Elves might be able to cascade us into victory, especially if we, like, knuck them up here. Oh, geez, that's double amalgam. Their dredge draw is so fucking good here. We need to not hit Narcomoeba. All right, that's no Narco. They have Bloodgas for next turn, though. If this Bloodbraid Elf is good, we could probably win this. New subscriber and happy to be here. I realize my name is stupid, but I did it as a joke, and I did not have to wait 50 days to change it. Banned site products 2018. Thanks for the support, bud. Don't worry, you can change it eventually. Is this coming off this turn too? On 2 turns, okay. Electrolyze is actually a pretty fantastic draw. A constant flaw with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to spread them off of green here, right? Potentially keep them from casting Life from the Loam. Smash. So they can block, they can trade there, and then they go to 7 here. They really need some Narcomoebas, right? And this Electrolyze might be able to let us push lethal through Narcomoebas. We need them to not hit 3 Narcomoebas this turn. We need there to not be 3 Narcomoebas. They have a Scourge Devil in here too, which is kind of scary, but I definitely just have to push there. Okay, this is a big push. Don't call it pile shuffling. Piling does not randomize your deck. It is pile counting. It counts your cards. The only purpose of piling is to count your deck. That's really unfortunate. So this brings back the amalgam. So now I have to... I have to hit here. My lack of red mana might bite me here. I get a bunch of draws though, so let's see what happens. Yeah, my lack of red mana is going to lose us the game. I guess I can hit a red source off the Electrolyze. So I should cast Serum Visions to dig for a red source, and then I can Electrolyze the Stinkweed Imp, hit red for the bolt the Narcomoeba, and then kill them potentially. So we get 3 looks with the Serum Visions plus a draw off the Electrolyze, so we get 4 looks at lethal here, right? Right, that's the best line here. It's Serum Visions, find red, Electrolyze the Imp, bolt the Narcomoeba, kill them. Yeah. God. We played this game so tight too. One more look. God, that's so frustrating. Magic's a really frustrating game sometimes. I guess maybe I should have fetched more aggressively and not gotten basics, but like I couldn't really know that like their draw, the health total wasn't gonna bite us back. That's unfortunate. How many outs did we have there? We had 1, 2, 3 out of our deck. I guess we actually don't have that many red sources in our deck. So we have this many red sources. And there were 3 gone. So we had 11. So we had 4 looks at 11 cards. Are we dead on this backswing? I believe so. Yeah, they have a Scourge Devil in here. And Conflag, yeah. Have a timeout. That's not true. That's not true. Fuck off. It's easy to get frustrated playing Magic. Like, and again, like, that's the definition of variance games and percentage plays, right? Like, wow, we weren't getting a red source for a while. What's the math there? We had like, we had a lot of looks. We had a lot of looks. And I could have fetched more aggressively early to have more access to red. Whether or not it was right to fetch more aggressively early to have more access to red is debatable. Maddie, should I leave Blood Moon in here? Blood Moon's probably bad here, right? Is cutting them off of Loam worthwhile or probably not? I kind of have room to leave 2 in. So I don't really want any of these other cards. How do you feel about 2 Blood Moons? These Ancestral Visions aren't very good either, but like, I really don't have anything else that I want from up here to bring in. Ratchet Bomb and Roast aren't particularly good. Is Roast better? Like, I'm not excited about Roast, right? Like, I agree that, like, Blood Moon isn't, oh, yeah, that's a dunk against Dredge, but, like, looking at these other cards up here. No, the Dredge deck grinds a lot of the time, so Blood Moon cuts them off of Life from the Loam, which is their grindy element. Blood Moon does give us more red sources. Jace the Mind Sculptor has been a consistently underwhelming Magic card. Every Temur deck I've been sent that starts with him in the main deck, the feedback at the end of the league is, cut this fucking card from your deck, it's terrible. Nah, I think Ratchet Bomb is too slow. Like, I have to have it on exactly 2 and I can't blow it up till like 5. Maybe Spreading Seas is better than Moon. I could see that. I could see that being the case, just because like it cantrips. Like if this was Spreading Seas, we'd be better off. You're 70% to hit 1. Thank you for doing the math for me. I appreciate that. I go top here. We'll probably go Forest Goyf next turn. Well, we can't play Relic because we have Tarmogoyf. And this is graveyard hate against a lot of the decks in the format, so I think that's fine. And also, like look at that game 1, right? Like, we were 70% to win that game at the end of game 1 if we would have just hit the second red source. Or we would have won it for sure if I would have fetched another red source earlier in the game, too. So, I don't necessarily think... I necessarily think that, what's it called, is the case that I don't want... That, like, I need graveyard hate. Yeah. I think, honestly... If we had a couple of Scavenging Oozes in our deck, we'd probably be a pretty strong favorite. So, like, maybe we just want some Scavenging Oozes in the sideboard just because that's a very reasonable Magic card against, like, other fair decks in the format, too. That's annoying. No, I don't think that's what you want to do, chat. I think, like, chat's just, like, doing the typical, we lost a close game to a matchup and now you want to, like, board a bunch of cards for it. Yeah, like, the Jaces in the main deck seem super anemic, right? So, like, maybe we just want something for there. This is kind of awkward. I kind of want to wait for this Bloodghast to flip out to Anger of the Gods them, so I'm just going to take a hit for 5 here. I'm going to play this tapped and pass the turn. I really don't want to play Kitchen Finks, because I want to play it post Anger of the Gods. Yeah, they hit another Bloodghast here, so that's good for us. So, we'll take 5, and then we'll get to Anger away a bunch of Bloodghast. A deck fair means it doesn't have a combo finish in it. Alright, so I'm going to fetch a basic mountain and cast Anger of the Gods here. Again, I'm not making the argument that Blood Moon is good in this matchup. I'm making the argument that I think the Blood Moon is less bad than cards I currently have in my sideboard. Which maybe Spreading Seas is better. I don't know. They're both pretty bad. They're both pretty bad. Yeah, I agree. I think the Jaces are shitty in this deck, just like they've been shitty in almost every deck we've played. And Scavenging Ooze sounds fantastic. Like Scavenging Ooze is a great card to like bring in for a matchup like this, right? Like we lost a close game 1, which means I don't want to shove a bunch of narrow Dredge Hate cards in my sideboard, but I wouldn't mind putting a card like Scavenging Ooze in my main deck even, just because it's a card that's good here, that's also excellent in a bunch of other places. All right, so I think I'm just going to play this Bloodbraid Elf here. Ding. Again, power level is contextual. So I didn't say Jace was bad. I said he's felt bad in every deck that we've played, which is basically true. Every deck we've played that we've tried to shove Jace into, it's just been like, well, this wasn't very good. He's not a turn 4 play. He's not. We are at 10 here, which is a little precarious. This Kitchen Finks will buffer our health total up a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, we're definitely in conflag range. The Bant control deck that was played at the Mox looked like a hot mess to me. Didn't seem particularly impressive. All right, so I'm going down to 8 here. Do I want to just anger this board next turn? I think I do. They're only at 3 cards in their hand. So I can anger plus Goyf here. I can actually anger plus Kitchen Finks here now, right? Since I drew that. I mean, the Miracles Jace deck just, I don't think it's particularly good in general. All right, yeah, so I'm going to hit them here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cast Anger and then cast Kitchen Finks. Just be super resource efficient this turn. Does it end the game earlier? It doesn't, right? They're at 9. I guess it lets me attack with this twice. It's unfortunate they hit Narco and another Amalgam here. Although Goyf kind of lets me block that, which is okay. Because I'm going to anger at some point anyways, Prototype, and I kind of want to put the Finks out there. Maybe Electrolyze Goyf is just better. Yeah, maybe Electrolyze plus Goyf is better, because it saves me the anger for like if I would have gone Electrolyze Goyf, I'd have Goyf to block their Bloodghast, and then I'd have anger the following turn to clean everything up. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I should have gone Electrolyze plus Goyf there, and then let's leave the anger in my hand. I think that's what should have happened. I'll start by attacking with this Kitchen Finks and see what goes on. All right, I think I'm actually going to play the Blood Moon here. I think I'm going to go Blood Moon Goyf. Blood Moon cuts them off of recasting Stinkweed Imps and casting Life from the Loam, and cutting them off of casting Life from the Loam gives them a pretty finite number of cards in their hand that they can conflag me with. They can conflag down this Tarmogoyf this turn, which is a little scary, but then like they're out of resources then, right? Which is good for us. Nah, they usually just play mountains. I haven't seen a Dredgeless with a forest, I don't think ever. Forest is pretty terrible. Flashing back looting, okay, it's good for us. Okay, that's another amalgam popping out here. Ooh, going to 5/6 now. They are down to 6 cards in their deck as well here. Are all their blood gas gone? Their blood gas are all gone, and this is the last of their Narcomoebas. Okay, so they can't conflag my thing anymore. All right, so I'm gonna start by electrolyzing here the Narcomoebas and see where we go from there. Draw another Tarmogoyf potentially. Another basic forest. All right, so they have 5 cards in hand. I think I'm just supposed to hit them with this Tarmogoyf here. They can use their card. They're going to draw up to 6, which means they could do 1/1/4 to me, which means I'm not dead next turn. If they don't block, I'm not dead to the Conflagrate, right? Because they do 1 here, 4 to me. That's puts me to 7, and then I do this. Yeah, so I'm going to attack with the Goyf, and then we'll play the Tribe Elder out as a blocker. And then if they don't block, they're going to have to start blocking this next turn, because it's going to be lethal. No, if I attack with the Finks, they're just going to trade their Narcomoeba for it, which doesn't seem particularly appealing to me. I'm aware they can cast Conflag. I just sat here and counted Conflag damage. I literally just sat here and counted Conflag damage. Oh, they have Scourge Devil. That's going to be lethal. Okay, I missed that one. Okay. I think we lost this game when I failed to that turn. The turn I played the second Anger of the Gods was the turn we lost this game. I should have played Tarmogoyf plus Electrolyze that turn and then set up the Anger of the Gods the following turn to try and get more creatures out of it, and then we would have taken one more of their prized amalgams away, as well as gotten in another attack with a Bloodbraid Elf, so we would have been able to pressure them a little bit better. So we got a little bit unlucky to lose the first game, but I also think the deck's misbuilt by a few cards, like, including the inclusion of Scavenging Ooze and like taking this dumpster fire of a Jace the Mind Sculptor and cutting it. I don't think we had any outs to really play around a Scourge Devil prototype. Like, we were just pretty dead to that. Like, did I have lines to play around Scourge Devil? This is a competitive league, not that it really matters. Like, if you've watched this stream, you should be familiar with the fact that people make terrible fucking plays in every type of league on Magic Online. It's like, there's like this some kind of like elite snobbery I feel among some people that play Magic Online, especially. They're just like, only the best of the best can play here, and there's no mistakes, and it's perfect, fantastic testing. And it's just like, nah, mistakes happen pretty much everywhere. The difference between competitive and regular leagues are mostly people that are willing to gamble. I think this is a keep at 6. I do too. And honestly, again, every single mid-range deck on this stream that we've played, the answer at the end of the league has always been, the Jaces were terrible in this league. We should cut them to the board and board them in against control decks and Jund. That's what it's been every single time. Yes, so far in the games we have played, Sakura-Tribe Elder has felt much better than playing another Mana Dork. I like that Sakura-Tribe Elder has synergy for allowing us to lock people out with Blood Moons. I like that Sakura-Tribe Elder randomly lets us gain life against aggressive attackers. Wall of Omens. Am I just going to spread them off of a Hallowed Fountain here? No, I'm just going to suspend that. 10 out of 10. All right, we found a matchup where we're not going to board Jace out, it looks like, so we've got that going for us. We finally found a matchup where Jace is going to be in our deck post board. That's such a silly question. Like, what's the context on that? Like, would you play Jace over Liliana of the Veil? In what? Like, that question requires other details in order to be answered. I don't think Snapcaster Mage does anything this deck is willing to do. Snapcaster Mage is looking to do. Snapcaster Mage is also exceedingly bad alongside of Bloodbraid Elf. This pretty lady. It's pretty bad next to her. Yeah. So Snapcaster Mage is not a card I found wanting. Scavenging Ooze seems like a sweet card though. Scavenging Ooze seems like a card that could... It's a card that buffers our health total against aggressive decks and a deck that doesn't have any other way to gain health currently. It's a must-answer threat in Grindy Mirrors. It's a hate card for decks like Dredge, so seems pretty excellent. I'm gonna fetch a basic forest here. Thinking about Titan Shift decks running BBE. I think the decks BBE are good against are already good matchups for Titan Shift, but I also don't have really much experience playing Titan Shift, so maybe it's excellent and I just don't know. Opponent's pretty clearly holding up a 2-mana piece of interaction here, so I'm just going to play my Cascade card. This card's kind of annoying against Bloodbraid Elf, huh? This card's kind of annoying against Bloodbraid Elf. I guess I should have attacked there to make them block, but it's whatever. Doesn't really matter, right? Hopefully they play a Jace and we just get to windmill another Bloodbraid and slam into it. Nah, I think I'd rather just main deck the Scooz. The Scooz is a more aggressive creature. Oh, yeah. So if they plus the Jace here, the question is, do I want to play a Jace of my own? I kind of just want to play a Jace of my own now, right? I kind of just want to play a Jace of my own. Just because, like, they need Detention Sphere to answer it at this point. Well, now I get to set this up, too, off the Bloodbraid Elf, right? Oh, I can't because I have an AV suspended. Alright, so I'm gonna throw these back for now. I think I'm cracking this fetch here too. Alright. I could brainstorm to set the AV up next turn. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, that's true too. I forget the order I stacked those cards on top of my deck here. Hey, Engineer 590, I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm just doing... I manage my Twitch chat the same way. Who are they targeting? Oh, they're brainstorming. I manage my Twitch chat a lot of the same way I manage my classroom when I teach. Although I'm slightly less aggressive when I teach. Here I get to be very aggro. When I teach, it's like, you know, just no bullshit. Like, if you don't want to be there, leave. That was my favorite thing about teaching college classes. I student taught in a high school for a semester, and it's just like, teaching high school kids sucks. Just like so many of them don't want to be there. Yeah, Tireless Tracker is great as well. Our deck has a lot of cards that allow us to grind in these style of matchups, even without Jace. So, well, that's pretty great for us. So what do I even want to do here now? What do I even want to do here now? Do I want to just slam the Blood Moon? I did teach math. Now we have enough subscribers here that I'm just doing this, and it's great. It's great. BBE into Savage Knuckleblade attack the Jace. That's probably pretty good. I'd go Tracker into Blood Moon. Tracker into Blood Moon seems pretty reasonable. I like that line a lot, because they're probably going to counter this Tracker, right? I just have infinite clues in play. Oh, I shouldn't have tapped my red source here. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Mistakes were made, chat. Maybe I'm supposed to be more conservative with this because it can let us steal a game. Almost forgot to use my Jace for the turn. Whoa, that's really rude. I guess I don't get to use my Jace this turn, huh? That's awkward. That's awkward. Okay, so I should have let a good line on the opponent's part, punishing me for my sequencing there. Punishing me for my sequencing there. It's a Supreme Verdict. Wrath of God, yep. Yeah, the opponent played this really well. Oh, you know what? I should have played my land here. No, I guess I could hit Tireless Tracker. No, I don't think so. I think we just set up some more aggression here. We just set up some more aggression here. I'm going to attack the Jace. I'm going to go ahead and play this Tarmogoyf out. I'm going to go ahead and suspend this Ancestral Vision. Just prepare to keep slogging as we go along. Yeah, like, do we really need Jace to win these long games? And, like, some Jaces in the board are definitely fine for a matchup like this, but, like, there's so much grind in this deck that, like, the Jaces in the main are so obnoxiously redundant, right? It's another sweeper, I assume? Yep. I believe there's a Knuckleblade on top of our deck. Put it on the bottom, yep. Yeah, hopefully it's time to knuck him up. Ready to get knucked up, opponent? Put your dukes up. Get him. This is a logic not incoming here. It's definitely a logic knot. So I don't even really want to restick Jace at this point because he'll just get attacked by Colony and now you just have to plus it. So I'm just gonna stick threat here, obviously. So we'll play this, get 2 clues, fetch shock, play this Tarmogoyf. I do have to watch out and like not die to this Colonnade by mistake here, but we're in an okay spot other than that. And we have what, 2 Blood Moons and a Spreading Seas. No, we're through both our Spreading Seas. We have 2 Blood Moons left in our deck in order to hopefully take them off this Colonnade. And like they need to answer our things on board here. So they need a Snapcaster Mage or another sweeper here. And if Snapcaster Mage is their answer, then they're going to be tied up on mana. So hopefully we can find a Blood Moon and resolve it next turn. I don't think Azcanta is very good in a deck like this. I think Jace is fine out of the board as a grindy card, but Azcanta is definitely not a card that I want in my Bloodbraid Elf like kind of aggressive deck. It was a little awkward that with Scalding Tarn I couldn't fetch a basic forest to keep my health total at 14, because like we are dead in 3 to these Celestial Colonnades currently, right? I do like that this deck gets to play a plethora of basics, which is nice. They found their other sweeper. Detention Sphere, maybe? Found another sweeper. Okay, they have 3 cards. They have Detention Sphere to take my clues out. What a fucking tilt. What a tilt! What a tilt, chat! Those are my clues! I worked so hard for my clues! I worked so hard for them. And they took them all away. Alright, looking for a Blood Moon, chat. Looking for a Blood Moon. Pay F for respects, right? Alright, well, we were really far ahead, chat. We were really far ahead. You hit the nail right on the head. Engineered Explosives is awful with Bloodbraid Elf. Did you just Fate Seal me while I have a fetch land in play? Thank you, deal. We are now clueless, right? Aw, man. If this AV was coming off this turn, we might be in an okay spot, but the fact that we're still 2 turns away from the AV is pretty bad for us. Yeah, the Jace is dying to the Colonnade, but I needed to get cards, right? Like, I wasn't winning the game with the cards that I had, so I stand by not. Fate Seal after you brainstorm and play to fetch. Yep, they definitely just should have scryed there. So, opponent, a little bit missed up on their part, but it's probably not going to matter because we're just so far behind at this point. A swingy game. Yeah, like if we were able to resolve an AV this turn, we could probably hop back into it. Or even a Blood Moon would be okay for us, right? You still have basics in my deck, opponent. Thank you. All right. And at this point, I'm a minute up on clock, so I'm just going to make my opponent kill me. Like, I would like to make them kill me just because, like, this match is probably going to go long in all 3 games. So if we could potentially win the game by timing them out, I'm okay with that. My answer to what do you think about Collected Company in this deck is, do you know the math on how many Collected Company hits you need in order for it to be consistent? If you knew the math, you probably wouldn't be asking me that question. You should look up the math on how many hits you need to work with Collected Company consistently. The number is higher than you probably think it is. I'm just gonna start auto passing for maximum value and just like burn turns off their clock here, ideally. Yeah, Savage Knuckleblade. Savage Knuckleblade. There are tons of articles explaining the math. There are tons of articles explaining the math. Google it. And again, if this was a match of Paper Magic, I'd have conceded by now. I forgot to attack the Jace, it's whatever. But because this isn't Paper Magic and my opponent has a chess clock, I'm gonna make them go through the motions. (22 to 23). You must really hate hitting things with Collected Company if you're gonna play 22 to 23. It's to consistently have 2 hits, it's much higher than that. It's much higher than that. I think the Mardu Pyromancer deck is great. There's infinite decks in Modern. Panza just won a tournament, right? Like, Modern is littered with decks that aren't tier 1 that do well in tournaments all the time. It's just the TLDR of how the format works. And you also have to keep in mind, too, that those numbers include mana creatures a lot of the time, too. So, like, if you're saying I have 30 hits, but 6 of them are mana creatures. Like, do you really have that many good hits? In actuality, you really don't, right? In actuality, you don't actually have that many hits. All right, so this is actually really funny against what's it called? Supreme Verdict. Finks is fine here as a resistant threat. I'm gonna board these lightning bolts out. You keep seeing Ulamog because Magic Online is quality software. I don't think of any of these other cards. You can maybe make an argument for Ratchet Bomb, but that's really slow and clunky. I played 28 hits and never missed. Take a timeout. No, I don't think I want Back to Nature. I think I'd rather have Blood Moon. Electrolyze draws a card and it's a touch of reach. It also cleans up things like Snapcaster Mages, so I think it's worth leaving in. Sure, but that number is really low. So like 2/3 of the time you're paying 4 mana to get a 2 mana thing at instant speed. Like, that's not worthwhile. That's not worthwhile. In my opinion, I'd rather just play other cards. Like if 2/3 of the time I'm not getting anything good, why don't I just like play more threats? Spreading Seas and Blood Moon are timestamps. So if you Spreading Seas a non-basic after a Blood Moon, it will be an island. If you Spreading Seas a non-basic and then Blood Moon, it will be a mountain. But I agree on that assessment. Bloodbraid Elf is essentially a better collected company. It always does something. Bloodbraid Elf never says, rearrange the bottom 6 cards of your library, be sad. Bloodbraid Elf, at a minimum, says get a 3/2 with haste. And if your deck is built right, it says get a 3/2 with haste plus some more. I'm gonna mulligan this just because I have hands with AV in them. Yeah, let's gamble. Top. So this is kind of awkward, but I'm gonna not play the AV on 1 just because I have a second land on top of my deck. If we didn't have a land guaranteed, I'd fetch Shock and play this, but we do, so I'm gonna wait. And grab a basic island here and suspend this. It's like I said, a touch awkward that we're waiting on the AV, but I think it's ideal. Wall of Omens. Wall of Omens is really good right now. Card's pretty stellar against Bloodbraid Elf. Also just draws a card right, it defends their Jace well. So I think I'd rather spread them off the Mystic Gate just because it can fix them for white. I think our 3rd land drop there sucks. I think our 3rd land drop certainly sucks. Especially when we cantripped. Yep. Hopefully we hit a forest or a fetch for a forest to get to slam this Blood Moon. Alright, I'm gonna Blood Moon anyways. Let's just hope we can cheese them. I guess they have this Gideon, which, yep, that's what we deserve, I guess. That's what we deserve. I don't know, I don't have any experience playing with elves. Why would Lockstone Spider's a 4/4 for 3? Seems, I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. Yeah, alright. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So promising and so far away. Getting our clues attention sphere was pretty brutal. How much RAM are we using, Magic Online? Huh. Oh, look at that. We're using 2.5 gigs of RAM. Alright, well, let's kill that. Let's show you a sponsored page here really quick and reload. Oh, Magic Online. Someday you will stop leaking memory. Someday you will stop leaking memory. Beep-doo. Beep-a-doo. I have like 30 Firefox tabs open for context. And I have 32 gigs of RAM. So unlike Magic Online, Firefox doesn't slow to a crawl when it uses a bunch of RAM because it's a 64-bit application running on a 64-bit operating system. It can use a lot of RAM. A 32-bit .NET application, though, is going to slow to a crawl, especially when it's using all that RAM because it's leaking memory. In other words, Magic Online is quality software. We are 2-2, Justin. Thank you very much. We are going to sleeve up your deck full of memes here in a second after this last match. I promise to play at least 2 matches with your pile of cards. I promise to play at least 2 matches. Yeah, Leonin Arbiter is kind of a meme around here if you're new to the channel. I basically hate the card and think it's obnoxious and rarely does anything. If they're truly terrible and not fun, Justin, we don't play all 3. We don't play all 3 if they're truly terrible and don't do anything. If they're fun, I even play more than 3 if we're losing. Yep, Shannon. Always upload it the night of unless we have technical issues. We died. We stumbled and died against blue-white control. This end's okay. It's a little bit slow. Hopefully they're playing something interactive. And this is one of the downsides of playing a mid-range interactive deck in a format like Modern or Legacy. If our opponent's playing something linear, we are just going to die with this hand. But that doesn't make the hand a mulligan necessarily. Got Bucky boy. As foretold, Living End. This matchup's probably quite bad for us. We really don't have any interaction for them. We don't have any counter spells in our deck. All we can do is try and raise. It's going to be a sad ending for my boy Nux, it feels like. Feels like it's gonna be a sad ending. Hey, Zigzags. With that Twitch Prime support, thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support what I do here. Yeah, Izzet Charm's a card that's impressed me in these shells. I don't think Izzet Charm would magically make this matchup good for us, but it would definitely make it marginally better. I think Modern is a format where you can't afford to play narrow cards like Mindbreak Trap in your decks. Sometimes you're going to have a bad matchup. In Modern, you're always going to have bad matchups, chat. You're always going to have, no matter what deck you are playing, you're always going to have a number of matchups where you can just never win. That's just probably one of them for us, so we're done. And you can't fix them. And in order, let me rephrase. And in order to fix those matchups that are basically unwinnable, you often have to give up percentages in a bunch of other matchups. So like, sure, we could make this deck great against Storm out of the sideboard. And sure, we could make this deck great against X out of the sideboard. But it's like, how many Ys are we giving up to make X better? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So this deck in general, I really like these Temur shells. They're a lot of fun, and I value having fun while I play Magic the Gathering. Jace the Mind Sculptor in this deck, like every other deck that we've played with Jace the Mind Sculptor in it, pretty much, he was poop. I would cut him to 2 copies in the sideboard. I think some Scavenging Ooze to help the threat density in this deck would be reasonable. I kind of wouldn't mind Izzet Charm, but I also don't really know what I want to cut from the deck in order to play Izzet Charm, so I'd have to put some more thought power into it. The mana base felt pretty reasonable. People kept asking about Sakura-Tribe Elder, and I actually kind of really liked him. He enables faster Bloodbraid Elves. He enables Tireless Tracker into Clue on turn 3. He lets you Savage Knuckleblade with haste on turn 3, so I think I like Sakura-Tribe Elder as opposed to Noble Hierarch or Birds of Paradise in a deck like this. There's also a ramp card that can like gain you some health against aggressive decks because you play him on 2 and then you block and sacrifice with him on their combat step before you ramp, so I don't know. This deck didn't feel particularly powerful, but if you're looking for a shell to play Savage Knuckleblade in between Blood Moons and Goyfs and like Bloodbraid Elves and Ancestral Visions, you're gonna get to play. You need to play a lot of interactive games of Magic. Well, not with Blood Moon, but you're gonna get to steal some with Blood Moon, and you're probably gonna have game against a lot of the other interactive decks in the format. You probably want to pick and choose out of the sideboard which linear non-interactive decks you want to have better game against, and then just hope to dodge the ones that you're gonna be bad against. All right, Justin has been waiting very patiently.